Professional golf is a sport that is so much more than just getting a golf ball into a hole in the ground. There are so many ways that golfers around the world show their appreciation for the sport, and one of them is their enthusiastic appreciation for the PGA Tour. Many fans even wish to compete in the tournament one day alongside their favorite golfers. And while that may seem like a far-fetched fantasy, it is completely achievable. And to prove exactly how doable that is, here's our series on how to become a professional golfer on the PGA Tour. Whether you're a recreational golfer, a beginner, or just a fan of the sport, this series is designed to provide you with valuable insights into what it takes to make it onto the tour. We'll be covering everything from developing your skills to competing in tournaments and sharing tips and advice from experts in the industry and from golfers who have successfully made it onto the PGA Tour. So, if you're interested in learning more about what it takes to become a professional golfer on the PGA Tour, be sure to tune in to each video in this series. The way we see it, there are a few simple steps to follow if you want to get on the PGA Tour. 7 to be precise. Number 1, and this is pretty self-explanatory, you must be really good at golf. Getting on the tour is not for amateur golfers. Keep watching this video to learn exactly how to get there and what is it that makes a good golfer. Number 2, you need to compete in amateur events to get your skill level up. Then, for step number 3, it's time to shed that amateur golfer status and go pro. And if you're wondering how, this series is perfect for you. The 4th step is going to Q School, and the 5th is eventually competing on the infamous Korn Ferry Tour. This will lead you to the final steps of 6 and 7, which is when you'll be able to become a PGA Tour player and get on the PGA Tour. Becoming a professional golfer on the PGA Tour is a dream for many, but it takes more than just talent and hard work to get there. Making it to the top tier of golf requires a level of grit and determination that only a select few possess. However, just because you became one of the lucky 125 players to earn your tour card, it doesn't mean you get to stay. You still need to perform at a high level and compete against the best players in the world. That's why this video exists. Our last video in this series, telling aspiring golfers how to get onto the PGA Tour, is going to be tackling how to stay on the PGA Tour once you get there. The truth is, high-level golf is a grind. The travel schedule is rigorous, and players must navigate through a variety of different courses with unique challenges. The PGA Tour is filled with some of the most talented golfers in the world, and the competition is fierce. To win, players must be at the top of the game mentally and physically, as well as having the right strategy and preparation going through each event. That's where a good support system comes in. Players often work with coaches, trainers, and mental performance coaches to help them prepare for each event and fine-tune their game. They also rely on caddies to help them navigate the course and make strategic decisions during the tournament. But even with a strong support system, winning is never guaranteed. Players must deal with unpredictable weather conditions, difficult course layouts, and strong competition. And even if a player does everything right, luck can still play a role in the outcome of the tournament. A bad bounce or a missed putt can mean the difference between winning and losing. So, what happens if a player doesn't win? Is all hope lost? Not necessarily. The PGA Tour has a complex system of points and exemption that allow players to maintain their tour card and continue playing on the tour even if they don't win. These exemptions are based on a player's performance in tournaments throughout the season, with points awarded for each event based on their finish. Players who accumulate enough points are granted exemptions, allowing them to play in certain events and maintain their tour status. Plus, not all players on the PGA Tour need to win often to make a comfortable living. While winning a tournament can provide a significant boost in earnings and status, consistent performance can also lead to a long and successful career. Peter Malnati, who has been on the PGA Tour since 2014, is a great example of this. Despite having only one win, he has earned almost 8 million USD and has established himself as a respected and consistent player on tour. Players like Malnati, often referred to as the Peter Malnatis of the tour, are an essential part of the PGA Tour ecosystem. These players may not be household names or have a multitude of wins, but they have the skill and work ethic to maintain their status on tour year after year. They are the players who consistently make cuts, finish in the top 25, and earn enough money to keep their tour card. But even with these exemptions, players must continue to perform at a high level. If they fail to accumulate enough points or miss too many cuts, they can still lose their tour card and be regulated to the Korn Ferry Tour or other lower level tours. That's why players like Malnati have found a way to thrive on the tour, building successful and sustainable careers without relying solely on wins. They serve as a reminder that success on the PGA Tour is not just about winning tournaments, but about consistently performing at a high level and maintaining one's status as a professional golfer. Maintaining your status on the PGA Tour requires more than just winning tournaments and making a lot of money. Players must consistently perform well and earn enough points to keep their cards. This can be difficult as the competition on the tour is fierce. as there are many talented players trying for the same spots. Even the slightest dip in form can result in a player losing their card and having to fight their way back to the tour through the Corn Ferry Tour or other qualifying events. One way for players to maintain their status on tour is by playing in many events as possible. The PGA Tour has a minimum number of events that players must participate in to maintain their card. By playing in as many events as possible, players can accumulate enough points to ensure their place on the tour. However, they must also be mindful of their physical and mental health, as playing in too many events can lead to burnout and a decrease in performance. Another way for players to maintain their status on the tour is by consistently performing well in the events they play in. Players must earn enough points to keep their card, and the more points they earn, the better their chances of maintaining their status on tour. This requires a level of consistency and focus that is difficult to achieve in a sport as unpredictable as golf. However, players who are able to maintain their focus and perform at a high level consistently are the ones who are able to maintain their status on tour for years to come. Ultimately, maintaining your status on the PGA Tour is a combination of talent, hard work, and luck. Players must perform at a high level consistently, stay healthy, and be able to consistently play great. Sometimes it also comes down to a lucky bounce or not. One of the biggest challenges of staying on the PGA Tour is consistency. Golf is a sport where players can be in top form one week and then struggle the next. Maintaining a high level of play week after week is a difficult task. In addition, the courses on the PGA Tour are known for their difficulty, with tight fairways, deep bunkers, and fast greens. A player who is not at the top of their game can easily fall behind the pack and miss the cut. Another factor that can affect a player's ability to stay on the tour is injuries. Golf may not be a contact sport, but the repetitive motions and strain on the player's body can lead to injuries that can keep them out of the competition for weeks or even months. A player who misses too much time due to their injury may struggle to maintain their status on the tour, as they will not have enough opportunities to earn points and money. Perhaps the most significant factor in a player's ability to maintain their status on the PGA Tour is mental toughness. Golf is a sport that requires an incredible amount of mental focus and concentration. A player who loses confidence or gets into a mental slump can easily fall behind the track and struggle to keep on. Conversely, a player who is mentally strong and resilient can bounce back from the setbacks and continue to perform at a high level. And that's all for this video and this series. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this series, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Press the bell icon to get notified every time we upload a video. Thank you for following along as we talked about the ins and outs of getting onto the PGA Tour.